Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 92. Today we're going to look at the difference between cloth, clothes, and clothing. Alright, so first let's look at cloth. Cloth is a piece of material, usually not too large, that is used especially for wiping up, cleaning, and drying things, etc. So this is what we mean by cloth. Alright, here's an important point. Cloth is not the singular form of clothes. You don't put on cloths. Alright. Maybe some beginning students might make that mistake where they say they're going to put on cloths. Cloth cannot be used that way. Cloth is a completely different word than clothes. Even though it looks similar, they both have to do with material, but it's not the same word. So that's the important note right away. No, alright, of course. So here's some examples. Just use a cloth to wipe up that spill. Yeah. So that's why they tend to be a little on the smaller side. It's usually not like something like a big towel or something like that. It's usually much smaller. After washing the dishes, I use a small cloth to dry them. Yeah, you could have a drying cloth. You could have a washing cloth. You could have either one. You could, have it special for this use, basically. All right, let's take a look at clothes. Clothes, of course, is the most common of all of these. Clothes are things that you wear on your body, such as pants, shirts, skirts, etc. Okay, so just normal uses for clothes. For example, my dirty clothes are piling up. I need to do the laundry. So, of course, in this case, you would definitely not use either cloth or clothing here. Put on some fancy clothes. We are going to a high-class place. Yes, going to someplace fancy tonight. Dress up. Put on some high-class clothes. Okay, let's look at clothing. Some students ask, well, how do you use clothing? Clothing means clothes in general. So, you might have a clothing department or a clothing section. Here, of course, we might use our clothing industry has lobbied the government to put more duty on imported clothes. Yeah, maybe they don't want as much competition. They want it to be easier to sell in the domestic market. So they might want the government to put more duty on the clothes that's being imported from overseas that could probably be cheaper. So that's a way we would use clothing. Yeah, we don't say clothes industry, we say clothing industry. So clothing is a more formal word, and it tends to be used more in a general sense. Okay, here's the second example. A lot of money, food, and clothing were sent to victims of the hurricane that struck Puerto Rico. Okay, again, so it's more formal and it's used in general. So again, quick review. Cloth is usually just like a piece of material, usually not too large, especially for cleaning, wiping things up, drying things. Clothes, well, we all know clothes. We wear clothes every day. That's the stuff that you actually put on your body. Clothing, of course, you eventually put clothing on your body, but we talk about it in a more general sense. And it's a little bit of a more formal word to where clothes is just a general word. Okay, I hope that clarifies it. Thank you for